Okay, I'm just taking a few deep breaths before we get into this one.
Yeah.
Because it's your team, Amy.
Prepare yourself, Pete.
It's the events team, and you're a lively bunch.
Yeah, we're a bit wild.
I feel like I've got to psych myself up.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, let's do it.
Do it.
Cue the intro.
Welcome to M&G Agency Life, your regular dose of creativity, insights, and all things Mearns and Gill.
Join us on this whirlwind journey through the world of marketing, design, and digital.
We'll also talk brand, events, media, and lots more.
Like what happens behind the scenes.
Yeah, and the latest industry trends, we've got you covered.
So get ready to dive into the world of agency.
Right, shall we do this?
Oh, heck yes.
Here we go then. Welcome to episode 9 of M&G Agency Life. And today we will be exploring the world of events.
Yeah, we're so excited. And particularly me, I'm very excited because this is my team. This is our events team. And yeah, I'm so excited to introduce you all to the team and the individuals. So yeah, today we've firstly got Suze, who heads up the events team. She's a director here at Mearns and Gill. She'll be here throughout the whole podcast, and then we'll hear from each of the individual team members. Suze, welcome.
Thank you.
Hi, Suze.
Hi, I'm so excited. This is like, yes, I'm excited to be here.
Welcome to the podcast room. Amy's excited. I'm a little bit nervous because you're a lively team. And also, it's been so difficult to actually find a date when all of the events team are available because you guys are all over the place. You're all so busy.
Yeah, it's been a mad time. Yeah, it's a silly season, I think, just now with conferences, events. I mean, this week alone, we've had a 2-day conference. We've been up in Shetland.
Yeah.
Did 2-day conference last week. So yeah, you're right. It is tricky getting everyone together, but we'll maybe get a little break in July, hopefully.
Yeah, and that, I guess, is the world of events.
I know.
Hectic, isn't it? Right, so Suze, let's start off by, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your background and your role and what you do here day to day at Mearns and Gill.
So yeah, I'm Suze and I'm events lead and director at M&G. And I've been here for 17 years.
Wow.
So
Longest standing member of the team, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Wow.
LinkedIn reminded me of that. So thanks,
17
LinkedIn.
years.
17 years. Yeah, obviously not been doing events all that time.
Yeah.
Started off actually doing business development.
Okay.
Moved into account management. And then, yeah, as we got busier with events, I sort of just focused on that and never looked back, really. But
That's the great thing about our agency is, you can work in different roles and eventually you've kind of found a department that you feel you really enjoy. So
Exactly.
I guess, to both of you, Suze first, what is it that excites you most about working in events? Why do you love it so much?
Well, no day is the same, really. It's all, probably every person that does events will say that.
Yeah.
I think the adrenaline, the excitement of all. I think most of all, it's seeing an event come together, after working on it for so long. A lot of people think, you just turn up and, they enjoy the event, but they don't understand all the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a whole year, you know. So yeah, it's just seeing all the hard work come together, and it's always a massive team effort as well. So it's
and
great.
so much goes on behind the scenes. I'm looking forward to hearing a little bit about that. Amy, what about you? What do you love most about being in the events world?
Yeah, I guess same as Suze, to be honest. Seeing it all come together, and with events as well, you can really create that moment and like that memorable experience for clients, which is really nice. And because we arrange so many events throughout the year, like conferences, exhibitions, awards, blah blah blah, like, it can be really, really varied. And one day you could be looking at an agenda for downhole tools or something, and then the next day you're organising this fun entertainment package for one of your clients. So it can be really, really varied. But yeah, it's a whirlwind.
You touched on making memories. I heard a quote. You know how much I love a quote.
Oh, you love a quote.
Events are temporary, but memories last forever.
Oh, peak.
Oh, that's a bit cheesy, isn't it?
But it's that whole...
true, though. It is true. Like, people do remember things, and it's the little things in events that people remember. They'll come back the next year and be like, oh yeah, I remember we did this and we had this on stage, and things like that. So it's really good.
It's those unique moments that you remember. Okay, so there's lots of great reasons why you both love working in events. And Amy, I've just realised you've got to watch what you're saying on this podcast because Suze is actually your boss.
She's my boss. I need to be on my best behaviour.
Yes.
I think that's fine. I feel like you're used to it, though, sitting kind of opposite me every day. You're probably used to the silly things that come out my mouth, so I think we'll be fine.
Good luck. That's all I'll say. Right, Suze, can you walk us through the typical event management process, I guess? So from the initial kickoff to post-event, how does that normally go? Talk us through some of the stages that might be involved in that.
Sure. So no event is the same. It's not one size fits all, but I'll walk you through just a typical event. So the first stage is obviously meeting with the client, learning their objectives, what it is that they want to really achieve with the event. And then, we'll work with them. We'll come up with various ideas for the event. So if it's a conference, for example, what are the themes? We work with them to formulate the content for all the promotion. We obviously source venues. So we're obviously a variety of venues in Aberdeen, or not just Aberdeen. We work all over the place.
Yeah.
So, our role really is to choose the best venue that will suit the event, and obviously that will meet budget as well. And then we obviously have our design studio as well, who supports us with designing any event collateral. So that's a bonus that we have all that in-house.
Yeah.
And Leanne, who will probably be having a chat later, will be discussing about how we get sponsorship and exhibition space. So I won't go into detail about that, but that's obviously something else that we can help our clients with. And depending on the type of event, there's theming, there's liaising with speakers, entertainers. So there's, a variety of different facets.
Is there a kind of event that you like more than others?
I enjoy doing an award ceremony.
Yeah,
I love an award ceremony.
All the glitz and all the glam.
I know, nice dresses.
Oh, yeah, that's good on the day. But there's just so many different parts to it as well, and seeing the winners on the night, they're so nice. Yeah, they're just delighted to win, and it means so much to them, and we're helping to make that happen.
Okay, so I guess just sticking on that theme with awards, and when you go to these ceremonies, quite often, these events, everything looks like it's running seamlessly, but there's a lot that goes on in the background. Why don't you both talk us through some of those kind of hidden tasks that no one else sees, but the kind of stuff that you do in the background?
Yeah, well, I guess we always have to prepare for the unexpected, don't we? That, people don't see some of the things that go wrong, and you can be so prepared, and, but nothing can prepare you for something that, as I say, that can go wrong. For example, a speaker can pull out, or and you just have to deal with that as best you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think as well, we put on so much effort in the lead up to the event that sometimes on the night you're relying on so many different people in so many different aspects working at the same time that there's only so much we can do. We're so reliant on other people to then be like, right, this is your job now, on you go, like do your thing, which is good. And it's good you can rely on a good team, and we've got good suppliers and good venues and things that we trust and that we go to quite a lot for things. So yeah, on the night we can do only so much, and then we're relying a lot on other people.
Is there any top tips that you can give that might help prevent failure, or any kind of good tips that you can provide that someone might need to think about before kind of working on an event?
I think you've just with the experience we have, I think we've probably, COVID, that was obviously don't like remembering the time,
when
for
work in
various
events.
reasons, but that was a massive change that we had to, I guess, embrace. But it was scary going from in-person events to having to do virtual events, and having to provide a service to make sure that we still delivered the output.
But that was a real innovative solution. So we have our M&G Stream TV studio as part of our media studio, and you were able to. You still had events, but you were able to still run them, but you streamed them virtually, which was really innovative.
Exactly. There was a lot of learning, and a lot of hard work, a lot of tears, a lot of sessions in our pajamas with a glass of wine in hand. Nobody saw that.
Good times. Do you miss those days?
No. But yeah, I think it is. It's just some of the things that we've learned over the years. We put that in practice, and we think, well, what is the worst that can happen? Really, we have dealt with a lot over the years, and it is about just making sure that we prepare and we remember that, and we remember how we deal with it the best we can.
So what are some of the events that you guys organise? Because, probably people in Aberdeen will be aware of this, but we have global listeners on our podcast now. What are some of the big events that you guys work on each year?
Oh, so we do numerous conferences, energy for our energy clients.
Okay.
And we don't just do that in Aberdeen, we do that we've got one in Scandinavia in a couple of weeks' time, so that'll be fun. And award ceremonies, we organise the Offshore Achievement Awards. Which is, I guess, the Oscars for the energy industry now.
It's a great event to be behind.
Brilliant, yeah, it's really good. The Trades Awards for construction. We do just dinners, charity events, product launches.
So what do you think makes a truly successful event?
So yeah, I think it's about hitting the brief. It's about making sure that we listen to our clients, and really understanding what they want to achieve and delivering on that, and then getting all the good feedback, whether it's from their guests, the attendees, the speakers, and then referrals that come in, in the back of that as well. We do get quite a lot of that, which we're very, lucky to get. So it's just, it's making sure the client, I think, doesn't have to do any running about on the day. They want to enjoy it, and we make sure that they enjoy it, and we take all that stress away from them, really.
Yeah, exactly. So you are taking the pressure away from them, and that's why I guess an organisation would engage with a good events company to support them. It takes the pressure off them. Yeah. You guys have stacks of experience, and you know how to make it all work. So on that note, how do you approach creating unique and really memorable event experiences?
I guess it's just not doing the norm. It's just trying to keep our ears to the ground. What works, what doesn't work. Again, it is all about listening to our clients, making sure that we understand their objectives. If not going too rogue, but just giving. Entertainment is brilliant when it comes to creating a memorable event as well, and decor. If it's a dinner, it is just about going that extra mile and just making all the guests and the client obviously feel that it's something special.
And as you mentioned earlier, we're really fortunate because we have all these other departments. So it's not just the events team. You can collaborate with the creative guys in the agency who can all help come up with brilliant ideas to make these events really special.
Yeah, definitely. And it's again, when we're theming, if we do a dinner dance and theme it, we've had some fantastic themes in the past. We've had carnival themes, circus, you name it. You've had dodgems and,
Love it.
So
Did we not once have a bucking bronco in the garden here at Carden Place? Outside Mearns and Gill.
A different kind of event, wasn't it?
I didn't I think I lasted about a minute. Not even a minute, I think a few seconds.
The things I've missed out on. Okay, guys, I'm not getting tired of your voices, but we've got a lot to get through, and I think we should bring in another member of the events team. So joining us now in the M&G podcast room, it is our sales and sponsorship coordinator. It's Leanne. Hello. Leanne, welcome to the podcast room.
Thank you.
Now, what I know about you mostly is that you're a huge Gary Barlow fan.
Yes.
We'll come back to that.
First and foremost, over everything.
First and
Tell a
foremost.
few people.
I know that by the life-size poster that's on the wall in your office. But you are our sales and sponsorship coordinator. So I guess, tell us a little bit about you, your role, and what that looks like day to day.
Okay, so I have been with Mearns and Gill for 4.5 years as sales and sponsorship coordinator. The role has definitely grown over that time, and it's my job to recruit, secure sponsors for our clients for the events that we do.
Okay.
And so we do conferences, exhibitions, awards, dinners. So anything that requires sponsorship, I'm involved in working on.
Okay, Leanne, so let's break this down. Tell us what these sponsorship packages typically look like? What's involved?
So many of our clients are not-for-profit, so rely heavily on sponsorship and exhibition to fund their event. At the very start of an event, I would create packages such as platinum and event sponsorships. We have companies that would sponsor lunches, coffee breaks, breakfast, registration.
I'd love to get my coffee break sponsored.
Amazing, wouldn't it?
And then we also have exhibitions. So we'd have companies that would want to exhibit and showcase their products and services, network with the delegates that are attending.
Why would companies want to sponsor an event?
So when I go out with sponsorship packages to companies, the packages will clearly outline the benefits for potential sponsors, such as brand exposure, promotion, networking opportunities. There'll also always be a variety of packages that will suit all budgets. So it's not just the big companies that can provide sponsorship. We target smaller companies as well.
So Leanne, I believe there's quite a big event coming to Aberdeen next year, and we're going to be heavily involved in this. Talk us through what it is and what our role is.
You're right. It's a really exciting event. It is the Tall Ships 2025.
Yeah.
So we're working with Aberdeen City Council to secure sponsorship for the Tall Ships.
Yeah.
This is the largest free family event in Europe, and it's set to bring around 400,000 visitors to Aberdeen next year for the weekend.
That is huge.
Mad.
So the Tall Ships have been to Aberdeen previously.
They have been to Aberdeen before, and I remember them. I think it was in 1991, and then they were here in 1997.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I remember
You can't be
going
that old.
to see them as a child. I know. Maybe I was a baby. I wasn't.
But a huge event for the city.
Huge event, yeah. Family event, completely free for families to attend. It's over the weekend of the 19th of July to the 22nd of July next year. The ships will be coming into Aberdeen Harbour. So yeah, my role is to secure sponsorship. So we've already got some good companies on board. Again, there's lots of packages, varying packages for all budgets.
Right.
From covering supporting the trainees who will go out on the ships to volunteers that are needed to run the event, education, they'll be going into schools.
Right.
Through to sponsoring things like entertainment, culture, and a parade.
Wow. Okay. So a lot of different kind of sectors can be involved in the sponsorship, and what a great way to get your brand kind of front and centre in front of such a huge crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fab event to sponsor for all sectors can be involved and to support the city and what will be their biggest event next year.
I'm excited for that. Watch this space, 2025.
Wow, yes. So many opportunities for people to get involved in the Tall Ships. And looking forward to seeing that come together next year. I mean, how can companies make the most out of their sponsorships then? Like, what should they be doing if they are sponsoring an event?
When I am discussing sponsorship with a potential sponsor, obviously I send them out the packages. However, I always say they're not set in stone. I very much like to have a conversation with potential sponsors and exhibitors to see what their aims and goals are. Do they want to get their brand out there more? Have they rebranded and they want to get that in front of people? Exhibitors, have they got a new product they want to showcase? So yeah, very much kind of looking at the sponsorship packages, but maybe adjusting them and kind of making them fit for what their aims and goals are. I'd say getting in early as well. It's never too early. Even if we're looking at an event that's a year out, like the Tall Ships, for example, it's never too early. That event's being advertised already. So make this most of your sponsorship by getting in there early and promoting it yourself on your socials, websites, to your staff, and all of those sort of things we can help with as well.
And it's great to know that you're so flexible and all these packages can be adapted to suit every
absolutely.
client.
They're definitely not set in stone. Everyone wants to get something different out of their sponsorship.
And I think as well with exhibitors, a lot of exhibitors, they'll turn up at a show or a conference and that's it. You know, they'll have a nice backdrop and, you know, but they haven't done the prep beforehand. You know, they're not telling people that they're going to be there. They're not, you know, there's some really sort of important steps to you know, make the most of, you know, your spend, you know, and your presence there. And again, as Leanne said, you know, we can certainly help walk through that process.
It's almost like launching a business. You wouldn't just open and say, hi, we're here.
Yeah,
There's a lot of work that you do up front.
Definitely.
Cool. Some really interesting points. Leanne, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Before you get going, we all know that you are the biggest Gary Barlow fan in the world.
I am.
So what I thought we could do, this is your big moment. You can just talk down the mic because Gary Barlow will be listening, I'm sure.
Of course.
So if you want to send a message to Gary Barlow, now's your big chance. Go.
Okay, so my message to Gary would be, I know that in a few years' time he has a big birthday coming up. And like I said earlier, it's never too early to start planning for an event.
Wow.
So if he would like to hire Mearns and Gill, me,
Right.
to organise his party for him, I'd be more than happy to do that.
And you should start planning that quite soon.
Yeah, I think he should. It's never too early.
You should probably have a lot of meetings with him to organise it.
Yes,
Lots
face to
of
face.
meetings.
Yes.
Tomorrow too early, Leanne?
In-person meetings, yes. I think he should sing to me.
And on that very baby reindeer note, I think it's time to say goodbye to Leanne. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow, that was Leanne. There we go. Amy, I want to turn it back to you at the moment and just get back into the event management side of things. So why don't you talk us through, I guess, some of the common mistakes that you see people make when planning events, and more importantly, how can they be avoided?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think some people, when they plan events, they're not really sure kind of what's involved in the planning process and things, and that's obviously we can help with that.
Yeah.
But there's so many aspects that people need to be aware of, and they can get kind of wrong from the outset. Primarily, I think the costs involved in the event. I think some people underestimate that. To make a really good event, you need to get every aspect completely right, and that's kind of down from the venue to the food, which everyone remembers the food about an event. AV, entertainment, decor, and things, that all comes together, and it all comes together as a cost.
Right.
Obviously, here we organise a variety of events, from large scale to small scale events. So you can definitely have a budget that can fit your event, but it's just to make you aware of what is involved cost-wise. Choosing the wrong venue, that's something they see quite a lot as well, is you come with this idea of what you think an event is going to be, and you choose a venue that suits that, but it might be too big or it might be too small, and then you're kind of sitting there with not a lot of space or not enough space, and what do you do with that space, and how do you decorate it? And again, that's a cost that you don't want to have to go and rectify at a later date.
We had a client and they'd booked the venue, but the rooms that they booked just weren't suitable for the event and the audience. And we made it work. But if we had been involved at the outset, which is what we always try and say, we'd listen to what do they want to achieve, what do they want the event to be like, and then we work back. And as I say, choosing the right venue is so important.
And you guys will think about it totally differently than a client might, because you will have a lot of experience. You'll probably know you'll have a broader kind of thought process as to what kind of venue is going to be suitable.
Yeah, definitely. Another things we see quite a lot is, you've not done enough marketing and promotion before the event. So as Leanne was mentioning, that's so important for sponsorship, is getting that marketing out there kind of from the outset, so people are aware of it. And we know that people don't book on to attend events, far in advance, but it's just getting that in people's head that the event's happening and all the opportunities that are going to come out of that event, just to make them aware of it, and then start promoting kind of from as soon as you want to run the event, basically. Logistics, like a lot of people don't understand the AV and the staffing involved in how people are going to register, all that kind of things, which we can obviously help with, but it's really, really important, especially from kind of an attendee point of view as well.
There is so much to think about.
Yeah.
No wonder you guys are always so busy.
Yeah, I know.
Lots of checklists.
Yeah, I bet.
Project planning, etc. And then one thing as well we see quite a lot of conferences is too much content is trying to be kind of funneled into that event. Keeping things really streamlined, and so they're running on time. It's really important to make the content really
keep
streamlined.
It simple.
Yeah, keep
sometimes,
it simple.
Yeah.
And one other thing as well, final thing I wanted to mention, was not spending on photography and videography. Kind of on the day of the event, having a videographer there and a photographer there is really important, especially if you want to kind of promote the event the next year. So having good photography you can use next year to promote the event, so people kind of see what a fantastic event it is and how they could get involved is really, really important.
Okay.
And good testimonials as well, isn't it? Filming speakers and sponsors, and getting them to tell you about the benefits and why they get involved. And as Amy said, it's great material for being able to promote that in future years.
Yeah, and capture that moment as well, especially if it's a staff event or a big birthday or something. You want to have something to look back on to remember the event.
Okay. So what about top tips? Your top tips for ensuring a smooth and successful event.
Yeah, I mean, I swear by project plans. As soon as you kind of sit down with a client and you know what they want to achieve, the project plan gets taken out and you kind of map everything out. Obviously, this can change throughout the process, but having it kind of planned out to begin with so you know who needs to do what by when is so important. Getting a reliable team of staff and volunteers as well. So we've obviously got a really good team here, but we do rely on some student volunteers as well who are looking to get experience in different kinds of events. So having a good, reliable team is really important, and you can rely on them on the day and before in the lead up to the event. And don't overlook the kind of finer details. So everything to table centres, to music, to ambience in the room and things is really important, because it's really those little details that people remember and will come up to you at the event and say, oh, that was so nice, I really like the way you did that, and I really like that 360 photo booth you have there, because it just makes it all that much better for people in the room. And having a good relationship with the venue and your suppliers as well is really important. We work with numerous suppliers, numerous venues, but we do kind of have the core that we go to. Just building a good relationship up with them, because when things go wrong, you do rely on them quite heavily to be like, we need to do this and we need to do this now, or we really need you to do this for us. I'm so sorry, it's last minute. You know, there's all these different things that we need to rely on other people for, and it's really good to have a good relationship with them. And one final thing I wanted to mention was having backup plans.
Have a backup, okay?
Well, I know we mentioned this before, but you know, speakers pulling out, bad weather, you know, COVID, I don't know, absolutely everything that can happen, or even the general election recently, that kind of put a bit of a damper on some of our plans for the latest conferences that we were organising. So having a backup, going to people and being like, you know, if you can't do it this way, how can we do it? You know, venues, if we can't have it in this room, what's our backup? You know, especially weather as well. We do a lot of outside events, so I know we live in Scotland. The weather's not going to be nice all the time. You know, like, what's our backup plan if it rains all day and we can't get our big marquee up? You know, what is the backup plans?
So many good tips.
I know.
Thanks for that. Right, let's meet our next member of the team, all the way from Wales. It's our events executive. It's Nia. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I love it. Are you going to speak Welsh all the way through this?
Yeah, I'm siarad Cymraeg.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm around.
You know what? We need more listeners in Wales.
Yeah.
So
Great.
Here we are.
we might lose some of our other listeners, but never mind. Nia, you are from Wales, but you live in Aberdeen, and you're our events executive here at Mearns & Gill. Welcome to the podcast room.
Hello.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me.
And you're no stranger to a mic, because you occasionally do bits and pieces for Welsh radio stations, don't you?
I do actually, yes. If there's any news going on up here in Scotland. When I lived in Asia, I was the Asian correspondent as well.
Wow,
so I think I was the only one that they knew that spoke Welsh.
Well, there you have it. And apart from all that, you obviously work in the events team as well. So let's talk about your role. Tell us about your role, what you do and what you love about it.
I love my role.
You've got to say that because your boss Sue.
I do. But yeah, I love my role. It's a bit mixed. It's a bit of a juggle. It's a bit of a juggling act, but I'm used to it by now. So I've got 2 laptops. I feel as if I've got 2 brains, 2 hats, 2 everything.
It's quite interesting because your role is split into 2 separate...
Correct.
2 separate positions almost, isn't it? So let's start with, I guess, the more Mearns & Gill focus.
Yeah, so I work in the events department, supporting on an array of events, and that's what I kind of like about it. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We do conferences one day, the next day we'll do annual dinners or Christmas parties or all sorts of stuff, and I really love that.
So again, the variety, which is what everyone here just seems to love about all our roles at Mearns & Gill. Working in agency,
on our toes,
agency in general, it's all about the variety. But you guys, you're all over the place. Like I said earlier, it's been so hard to tie you all down at one time. But it's great that we've been able to do it. And what about the other side of your role then?
So the other side, still kind of events as well, but it's leading up and doing all the admin on a sports and social club for one of our clients, which I absolutely love doing as well.
So a lot of these bigger organisations will have a sports and social club. Tell us about that. What is it? What does it mean to the staff there? What is it all about?
So day to day for me, it's things like sorting membership out, sending newsletters out, welcome packs, but we organise all sorts of stuff. So as a member of the club, you get benefits. You get theatre tickets.
Oh, nice.
You get foreign trips.
Oh,
I know, I'm very jealous. all sorts of stuff, So we organise all that, but the benefits are so huge for the employers. It keeps the morale going within the team, within the employers, keeps staff happy. They get so many benefits and keeps the work-life balance really well, I think. Because it's all about health and well-being these days,
Yeah.
Companies can keep staff happy and healthy at the same time, and I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I guess there's lots of reasons why a business would want to kind of run a sports and social club. As you say, it's health and well-being. It's a big part of it, but equally, you take a lot of the work away from these departments by kind of managing it and running it, don't you?
Yeah, I think a lot of companies would like to offer benefits like this to their staff, to keep the stress levels down. Everyone's a bit stressed these days, so I think anything you can offer to keep people happy and whether they want to go on these theatre trips or foreign trips or cuisine nights all together or with their families, it just keeps everyone on a good motivational, morale, healthy, well-being journey.
Similar to sports and social clubs, we also manage memberships for some associations.
Okay.
It's called association management. So we handle all the membership, the recruitment of new members, making sure we retain them, communicate with them on a regular basis, and with that comes organising events for them as well and doing their marketing.
Wow.
I guess it's similar to the sports and social club.
Yeah.
Thing really. It's great to get involved and do the admin for them so they don't have to do it themselves. And I think
so
that's
it's taking that
thing,
away and it's making your client's life easier, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely.
Great. Look, Nia, thank you for joining us. One more before you dash off to your next meeting. Wanted to ask you, I guess, what you love most about being in events.
I just love being in events. I've worked in events for many years and I think it's so rewarding at the end of the day when you see the clients and also the guests just loving the event, and at the end they walk away with a big smile on their face, and we've done all we can to make their events and their evening such a good experience, and that is just gives me the buzz, I must admit.
Yeah, making those memories, making dreams come true.
Absolutely, yes.
So cheesy. Nia, thank you so much for joining us.
Diolch yn fawr.
All right. Bye, whatever that was. So great to have Nia and her lovely Welsh accent on the podcast. It's such a busy podcast today, but we need to move on to the next segment, which is, of course, Case Study Corner. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't warn you about that. Sorry.
So, Suze, this is a segment of the podcast where we like to take a case study and we like to unpack it, break it down, talk about the goods, the bads, the uglies. Hopefully there's no bads or uglies, but what case study would you like to bring into Case Study Corner?
I would like to bring the Offshore Achievement Awards.
Okay, the OAAs.
That's the one, yes.
Right, okay, talk us through it.
Okay, so it's an amazing event. We've been involved in organising the event for probably about, I want to say 12 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least.
Wow.
So we were taking on, the remit was, it was a loss-making event, and it was getting very tired and basically just needed a bit of oomph.
Yeah.
A new lease of life.
A new lease of life. So we did that. We started off small. So we started off in a smaller venue and we sold it out, which is a fantastic message to put out there, sell out. And we attracted some, really good sponsors and support for the first event we did. And it just sort of grew from there, so we've again, it's an example of having to make sure that every year we're doing something a bit different. So it's not too samey.
Yeah.
And that's the fun part. It's making it exciting. But with the OAAs, there's so many different facets to it really. It's fun. And it's a year-long process.
Yeah.
It really is.
And to take it from a place where it wasn't doing very well to completely turn it around and to kind of turn it into what it now is, that must be hugely rewarding.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And the one that we just finished one in March, and the feedback was that it was the best it's ever been. And I thought that myself, but I thought, well, I didn't want to blow our own trumpet, but I did feel just everything seemed to work so much better. It looked better. The feedback was great, but it's just again being a bit inventive as well, and making sure that we're covering all bases. So, like for example, D&I is a big thing now. So we've introduced a new award, working with the committee, and that's really important. And again, nice to be involved in that. And again, working with young people. We work with Grace School of Art at RGU.
Okay.
We run a trophy competition.
Yeah.
And we do that every year. And it's just seeing the different ideas that all the students come up with. And then for them, it's a brilliant experience. Yeah. It's a live project. And then they produce the awards as well as design them. So when they come along to the event and see that awards being presented, it's a great honour, I think, for them as well. And it's just nice to be part of that.
And that's a good point you made about having to, introducing new awards. And I guess with events, similar to marketing, you must always have to adapt to the times and to the latest trends and all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're lucky to work with, our client on that. So SPE Aberdeen, and ultimately it is all about it's raising the awareness, it's inspiring the next generation, and the events aren't about making a profit, it is about anything that we raise. So that's why sponsorship's so important, in order to cover the cost for the event and make it that look special and special entertainment and things. But any extra surplus that is generated, it goes into inspiring young engineers through various STEM programs and bursaries, funding bursaries and things like that.
So it's really rewarding on so many different levels.
It definitely is. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realise that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And are you already planning next year's?
Yes.
Well, I look forward to that. The Offshore Achievement Awards, thank you so much for bringing that into Case Study Corner. Okay, then let's bring in the next member of the events team. I've got to say, it's like a conveyor belt today. Such a busy podcast. There's so many of you, but last but not least, a big warm welcome to our events manager. It's Sarah. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks very much.
You've had a busy morning, haven't you?
I have. I've just come off a 2-hour call straight into the podcast room.
So call straight on to the podcast. But, this is going to be more fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Hopefully. Yes, it will. It will
be.
Mm-hmm.
It will be. Great. Sarah, look, tell us a little bit about your job day to day, the kind of stuff that you're involved in and what you love most about it.
Okay, well, as an event manager, obviously, every day is quite different. Today, for example, my 2-hour meeting, we were scoring abstracts to form a program.
No idea what that is, but sounds exciting.
So for one of our technical conferences for one of our clients. So it's basically going through all the summaries of what people are proposing to present. Our committee have scored them, so it's just making sure that we pick all the good ones, all the best ones for the program. So that's a big part of what we do. For our conferences, meeting with clients to discuss their events, working then towards those events and then on the events, making them happen. So it's really nice to see how it all goes from working from it right from the start to the event and seeing it all make a difference to the clients and having a great event at the end of it.
Okay. Sounds like you have your challenges, but equally sounds very rewarding as well.
It is, yeah.
So what kind of events typically do you work on? Is there anything specific that you're more involved in than others?
I'm quite involved with the technical conferences, as I was mentioning before. That's kind of quite a lot of what I do day to day, but also some other client work. I've just worked on last week a celebratory event for a client. So they had a party at the art gallery for stakeholders and clients, so that was a nice one to work on.
Oh, what a life you lead, just going to all these glamorous parties
champagne
and events.
We don't get to drink the champagne though. That's just a disappointing thing. We sit there watching everyone have a good time.
No, people are like, you've had a drink though, right? No,
no,
I'm
we
working.
haven't. We're on an event on a drink with having a drink.
Where's the fun in that? So you're involved in a lot of these kind of technical events, like you said. Is there anything that you've noticed that's kind of changed? Obviously trends change all the time, technologies change. Is there anything that you're seeing more of, or you know, how have things changed changed in recent years?
Yeah, so definitely from our point of view, we're becoming a lot more mindful about kind of how to run these events sustainably. So last year, one of the conferences I ran, we decided to try and make it, as paper-free and sustainable as possible. So things like QR codes to scan to reach the abstracts book and the program and exhibition floor plans, delegate lists, things like that. Just so all those things would have been on pieces of paper before.
Yeah.
So we're trying to cut back on that, obviously.
And there's a big buzz around sustainability, especially in this city, especially in Aberdeen. So it's obviously quite an important part of everyone's agenda.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, lots of our clients, these events are all about reaching net zero and the energy transition. So we just do what we can to help in our little corner of the world.
So we obviously work with a lot of energy sector clients where sustainability is very important. But there's a whole range of sectors that we work across here at Mearns & Gill. And you've been involved, Sarah, in an event for the construction industry. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we help Grampian Construction Training deliver an event called Build Your Future. That's a school's construction challenge. So it's aimed at S2 pupils.
Okay.
They basically compete in the heats, get to do all sorts of tasks related to the construction industry. We want to try and kind of encourage younger generations to look into construction as a career choice.
Right.
It's not just about being a brickie or, that's a great job, but there's also, you could be a marketing manager for a house builder or something. There's a whole range of different career options. So they compete in heats, and then we all get together for a final. That's usually January time, and it's really a really rewarding one to work on because the kids really enjoy themselves. I think the feedback from the schools and from the teachers as well is really good.
And you're engaging with the future workforce and getting them interested in that specific industry. And from the client side, I guess there's a lot of kind of sponsorship and things like that come with the event. Yeah,
definitely. It's all about, across all the sectors we work in, construction, energy, it's all skills comes into it a lot. There's a huge skills shortage, I believe, in the construction industry. And obviously there's the future of the energy industry. They're looking for transferable skills, like people to move from kind of more oil and gas related to more kind of energy and renewable focus. So.
I suppose with events like Build Your Future, that model could probably be taken and used across other industries as well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'd be great to do one, for the energy industry too. So maybe watch this space.
Yeah. Okay. Sarah, thank you so much. It's been short and sweet. I know you're busy. Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
No problem.
So, wow, would you believe it? It's been a long one. It's been a busy podcast today, talking about the world of events. Suze, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, it's been great. It's been good fun.
And Sarah, you're still here. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Before we wrap it up, Amy, there's been a lot that we've discussed. What are some of the takeaways from this episode?
Yeah, of course. The key takeaways for me, know your client objectives up front. It's really important to know what they want to get out of their event. Contact a good event team to avoid all the kind of things that we were speaking about.
Where can you find one of them?
Oh, we're right here.
Yes.
Understand your target audience. That'll really help with your marketing and when you're choosing venues and content, etc. As we mentioned with Leanne and throughout this podcast, promotion is so important and getting that promotion out there really, really early so people know about your event really far in advance. Planning, project plans, etc. So important. Having a backup plan. We don't really know kind of what's going to happen. So having that kind of plan B, plan C is so important.
Yep.
Knowing that our team can handle kind of all the logistics and execution of an event, so we can kind of handle everything on behalf of our clients. They can just sit back and enjoy themselves when they're at the event. And lastly, creating an event can really make a memorable experience for our clients as well. So we want to make an event that clients can enjoy and people are going to speak about kind of for years to come.
So create something that's memorable and magic.
Yeah.
And wow, there we have it. Look, so a big thanks again to everyone from the events team for joining us today. If you'd like to know more about anything we've spoken about on this podcast, just drop us a line.
Yep, you can find us on Instagram at Mearnsgill. You can also find Mearnsgill on Facebook, LinkedIn, or online.
And don't forget, you can also text the podcast directly from your podcast platform. Coming up in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be doing something a little bit different from the usual format. We're going to be doing a Q&A episode. So we'd love to hear your questions. So anything agency related, just hit us up with any burning questions and we will get them answered in a couple of episodes' time. So that is it for this episode. Next week, it's Media Solutions. I'm looking forward to that one.
Excited.
That is next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.